Namaste, Jai Bharat. Someone sent me a video of the Kerala Chief Minister giving a very emotional talk to the common people. It must be the theme, the content of his talk was chiefly about praising the Hizballah as Hizballah terrorists who are very righteous in their terms, and Israel is doing atrocities on them. Now, this is obviously a politician like him. He's a communist. First, initially, I thought that just because he's a communist, he would like to make distinctions and differences and contradictions and conflict. I think he's only one communist chief minister in Bharat these days. So, I thought that he's trying to read in terms of the contradiction conflict principle, but then subsequently I understood that really is not the case. The case is that he came to power. He came to power the last time. Of course, he repeatedly came to power these days. It's just with the support of the Muslim votes. Now my question is, the way he was emotionally charged himself, pretentiously, obviously, and talking in support of the Hezbollah as they were the most innocent people who have been getting thrashed at the hands of Israel, etc. Now, what suddenly I started thinking, are the Muslims of Kerala so gullible? They don't understand this man is pretending. This man wants their votes. I don't really think they're gullible, but at least some people gets emotionally charged. And one more thing that led him to victory is his explicit hatred towards the RSS BJP, the Sangh Parivar, what they call. It's explicit hatred. He had done different contributions towards spreading mistrust and misunderstandings about the RSS in the society of Kerala. See, they're very good at creating propaganda, lies and deceits, which of course goes well with the European political thinking of the past. Lies and deceit and stories. Primarily, they say the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh is dead against Muslims, and given an opportunity, they would wipe out Muslims from any society. First narrative. Second narrative is that the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh is essentially one of the Brahmin group, and the non-Brahmins will be sidelined. Then, these are the two premises on which they base themselves to address common people, and this initially must have gone a long way in creating confusions in the minds of the Muslims and the Christians. But the Christians were very quick to come out of this chief minister's confusion, spreading propaganda narratives, and Muslims also in general not so much into his kinds of lies, but then they successfully created a confusion when the Citizens Amendment Act was in discussion. That of course he succeeded in saying that if the Citizens Amendment Act comes, then the Muslims will have to leave. Actually, it took time for people to understand that really is not the case. It's only meant for those infiltrators and intruders, not the people who are born here. In fact, Bharat does not make a distinction between any religion in reality, but they shall make a distinction between nationalists and non-nationalists, like the Chief Minister, who doesn't support nationalism. Obviously, his theory doesn't support nationalism, because the Lenin once explicitly stated that nationalism is an instrument of oppression at the hands of bourgeoisie. Of course, so they aspire for internationalism. That's why they have the Communist International Song and all the kinds of things, which of course is such a beautiful lotus-eating myth. Marx himself was a great romantic and great speculator. So that could be, but even that's not the case theoretically, because these people, I understand, as I understand, do not know much of Marx and Marxism. It takes some sense or some kind of understanding and some kind of logic and some kind of mental exercise to understand the theories of Marxism. And then, of course, the great mind Lenin, undoubtedly Lenin, and Mao, of course, is not that serious. And then the followers, many Marxist thinkers came into existence. Habermas, all the people in critical theory, majority of them, and this man Althusser, Louis Althusser, and the Gramsci, and many people came who understood dialectics, who understood Marxism, but certainly not fairly educated politicians like him, the chief minister. But he was so emotionally charged, with the most likely the presumption that it would move the minds of the Muslims minority. He had to face some other crisis at his home, again with the Muslim faction, because the Muslims, some people were against him and some were in support of him. So the point for him is his existence. His survival is on the basis of the support of the Muslims, and to obtain the support of Muslims, these two cards he plays. One is explicit RSS hatred. There are many Muslims who are turning to BJP these days, but not much in number, but there are many. So the RSS hatred, the BJP distrust, all those things he spells, which supports and helped him to come in power, and the Muslim appeasements by doing whatever possible in his hand, giving madrasa, pension to the madrasa teachers, and all kinds of things. But he was saying that just completely justifying the Hamas and the Hezbollah and all such terrorist organizations against a nation which is Israel. But one thing that people forget is that the Hamas is not really military, and Hezbollah is not really military. The Houthis are not an army. They don't belong to any nation per se, but they are proxy armies who conduct proxy wars at the instance of Iran. And Iran is a Shia nation, people predominantly in part of the Sunni. That contradiction remains and shall ever remain, at least below the surface level, once they have common problems. But that will remain. It's very interesting to see such a, at least by age matured person, making such a emotional appeal to people in support of Hezbollah and Hamas, and also Houthis. I don't think he mentioned. He mentioned about Hezbollah and Hamas, and that is not really fair, not expected of someone who's mature, who's holding a post, who's at least elected. Of course, he had all kinds of gimmicks to come into power. Anyway, that's unfortunate. And we'll meet again with some other thoughts, some other videos. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.